Good morning. My name is Paul Dalzell, and I am the worship coordinator of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charleston. Welcome all of you, our members, our friends, and if this is your first time here, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We are the place, as a wise man once told me, if you don't feel you fit in anywhere else, you belong here. We come together as a community to do good and to be better, to do good. A part of our belief system is that collective social justice work is crucial to who we are as a religious people. To be better, to develop ourselves to be better humans, kinder, gentler, and more open. Unitarian Universalism is non-creedal, deliberately pluralist, and unambiguously and unapologetically progressive. We find inspiration and wisdom from wherever we can find it, from parables, paganism, and prine. Please know that we welcome you, whoever you are. Wherever you are, we
welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you.
First, I have an announcement about announcements. I've always hated reading announcements. We try to create a worshipful experience on Sunday mornings, and then we interrupt it with advertisements. Sure, ads about what's going on here and in our community, but ads nonetheless. They just don't fit in with our theme, ever. Yet, a constant refrain since long before my time is, we never know what's going on, often by the same people who don't read the weekly update. And that we need to tell people several times in different ways about events for them to absorb them. So we are going to try a new thing. You'll note that included with your order of service is a list of announcements. Feel free to take that home with you for reference. You can stick it on your refrigerator, reference throughout the week. I will note very important date events like our stewardship dinner on March 8th at 4 p.m. It will be here in the sanctuary. The link to sign up and the link to the pledge form is in the weekly update, has been emailed to you, or a hard copy is on the table in the entranceway. But my goal is to not interrupt the vibe with a bunch of ads. Hopefully, this will be the last announcement for some time. And now, as Maria lights our chalice, please join me in reading the words. Oh, they're not in your order of service. I did that wrong. I will read the chalice lighting to you. It is honoring our common connection and our uniqueness by Adam Slate. We gather this morning as one community, a community united by common ideals: love, justice, diversity, freedom, mutual care, equity. Yet, look around you. Look at the faces of those around you. Each face represents an individual, every one of us, with our own story, needs, strengths, and faults. We light our chalice today honoring our common connection and also the uniqueness that lives within each of us. Now, please rise in body, spirit, and voice as you are able for our first song for all, number 349, We Gather Together.
We gather together in joyful thanksgiving, acclaiming creation whose bounty we share.
Both sorrow and gladness we find now in our living. We sing a hymn of praise to the life that we bear. We gather together to join in the journey, confirming, committing our passage to be a true affirmation in joy and tribulation, when bound to human care and hope, then we are free.
We come to this sanctuary, whether in person or virtually, to connect with our community, sharing our joys, our celebrations, our sorrows, our concerns, our peace, and our needs helps our community become closer and stronger. A close, strong community is what we all need right now. One moment while I get the book. As I have for a few months now, the joy of taking action, whether by helping to reduce harm among our most vulnerable neighbors or all the other ways we are able. Just doing something brings us joy. We also have a joy for sunshine, for a physical lift. And the Vermont protesters and protesters and protestors throughout the U.S., they are making a difference. Sorrows. TNTC, too numerous to count. So please send vibes to my brother. He is still in lockdown for a suicide attempt, and he committed a crime that he isn't willing to talk about while in jail. And also for Wanda McClanahan, a longtime UUC member who recused herself over the past several years. She passed away this past week. And again, a fairly common refrain for me, for all those who are houseless and for the hearts of those who condemn them and make their lives harder. For our friends and neighbors who may be facing deportation in the coming days, let's hold them in our hearts and do all we can to keep them safe. And for all our queer friends and family who are facing discrimination, whose very existence they have tried to negate with the stroke of a pen by both state and federal officials. Please know you matter to us. You are loved and safe with us. For all these joys and sorrows, both spoken and unspoken, may we remember shared joy is multiplied and shared sadness is diminished. The offering we take. Am I there? Yep. Each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It is as much a ritual as singing together or lighting our chalice. It is a reminder of that form of love we call generosity. It is how we show that we believe it is important to worship together, to help our community, and to say yes to the values of our faith.
De Colores. We are having drumming with it, and this is a song about humanity and joy, and we need that right now. Everyone who wants, please go up and get a drum or whatever rhythm instrument may be close to you. Paul will bring you a drum if you want one. Okay, and please stand and move if you like, and flow. Just move to the music. Enjoy yourselves. We need this joy right now. Does everybody have some? I'm going to start it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers. All the colors, yes, the colors shine down through a rift in the cloud and it showers. All the colors, yes, the rainbow appears when a storm cloud is not by the sun. All the colors are bound for the whole world around, for everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the colors of people parading on by with their banners. All the colors, yes, the colors of pennants and streamers and clothes and hello. All the colors, yes, the rollers of people now taking their place in the song. All the colors are bound for the whole world around, for everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the black and the white and the red and the brown and the yellow. All the colors of people who smile and shake hands and say hello. All the colors, yes, the colors of people, the red and the brown is one. All the colors are bound for the whole world around, for everyone under the sun. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que vienen florear. De colores es el arco iris que vemos. Y por eso es grandes amores de muchos colores y gusta a mí. Por eso grandes amores, muchos dolores en mí.
Big thanks to our guest drummer, John Albright. Jeff Albright, who agreed to come and help lead us. There once was a time when all you had to do was say, could the drummers come up, and 5 or 6 would, but we seem to be a little past those days now. Maybe we can get back to them. What does deep spirituality feel like to you? Says Peter Morales. Spirituality is impossible to define and difficult to describe. For me, he says, it feels like connection. Connection to myself, to others around me, to the earth, and to all of creation. Connection to myself feels like deep peace, awareness, calm, authenticity. Connection to others feels like compassion, community, acceptance, and enduring love. Spirituality is not an idea, it is an experience. When I experience connection, dividing lines disappear. Inner conflict gives way to integrity. The line that separates my individuality from others fades. We become one. I find connection with the deepest self in times of solitary practice and reflection. I find connection with others in community, often in worship. All the great spiritual traditions teach this. Today, the connection with creation, with the earth and the cosmos, may be most difficult. We live in artificially controlled environments that separate us from the natural world. More than humans in any other time, we live separated from the natural world, the world from which we emerged, and that sustains our lives. We so very much need to experience our world. We need to let go of controlling our world and allow ourselves to become one with it. We find ourselves when we lose ourselves. May we connect, really connect. When we do, it changes everything. When I was about 11, maybe 12, my grandpa told me that when he was a boy growing up in the hills of Clay County in the early 1900s, boys moved from wearing short pants to long when they could pee over their heads. However humorously disgusting the images of the attempts and failures of that one are, it was a coming-of-age ritual. Many cultures, fortunately, have other rituals to mark that transition, like the bat or the bar mitzvah of the Jewish faith. Besides rites of passage, there are many more types of rituals. When I was a boy, we said the Pledge of Allegiance every morning in school. That is a ritual. The presidential inauguration is a ritual. Even shaking someone's hand as a greeting is. All known human societies have their rituals. They might be public or individualized. Most people have their own, whether it be brushing their teeth in the morning, or the way they get ready for bed at night, or for those who are more OCD, counting or tapping, or other ways of reducing stress. I was discussing rituals with Margie Clarkson the other day. She mentioned how in past cultures, people sacrificed animals and even people. It struck me that not that long ago, if you wanted to eat meat, you killed and prepared it. Slaughtering animals was a common event in my, yes, that same grandfather's time. It is no small wonder that in impoverished cultures, this act might become religious in nature. Almost all ancient cultures practiced both animal and human sacrifice. Not all rituals are gruesome, although some are rather bizarre to most Americans today. The ritual of Nagol, or land diving, by the Vanuatu, and the practice of Vajroli by some Hindu sadhini seem strange to us, as does self-flagellation as a form of penance by radical zealots. The Grishneshwar temple in India is the site of a very unusual religious ritual. Babies between the ages of 1 and 2 are thrown from a 50-foot tower with men positioned below to catch the babies on sheets. The 700-year-old ceremony is believed to make children more intelligent, luckier, and healthier, and is practiced by both Muslims and Hindus in the region. Baptisms, confirmation, prayer are all less dangerous but transformative, as is bowing, chanting, a pilgrimage, fasting. Meditation can be transformative, as many of us know. Drumming, for those of us who can keep a beat, is. According to the BBC, a ritual is defined by psychologists as a predefined sequence of symbolic actions, often characterized by formality and repetition, that lacks direct instrumental purpose. Research identifies 3 elements of a ritual. First, it consists of behaviors that occur in fixed succession, one after the other, and are typified by formality and repetition. Secondly, the behaviors have symbolic meaning. And lastly, these ritualized behaviors generally have no obvious purpose. Ritualistic practices can help to bring a degree of predictability to an uncertain future. They convince our brains of constancy and predictability as ritual buffers against uncertainty and anxiety. Many athletes and actors perform various rituals, either for luck or to reduce stress. Turning some of our everyday rituals into mindful rituals, turning some of our everyday routines into mindful rituals can transcend the mundane, infusing our lives with a sense of significance and connection. By transforming ordinary routines into conscious rituals, we not only add depth to our daily experiences, but also anchor ourselves in mindfulness, gratitude, and a profound appreciation for the present moment, says Mia Daniels. She goes on to say, ritualizing routines involves infusing intention, mindfulness, and meaning into everyday activities. That's not to say that everything needs to have meaning or be ritualized, but taking steps to transform a few of your routines into more meaningful rituals might bring a little more joy to your day. Creating a ritual from a mundane task can make a job you don't enjoy into an intentional act which brings you joy. In Zen monasteries, even ordinary activities like bathing and eating are ritualized and given the complete attention of practitioners. This encourages a mindful approach to basic tasks. It can be as simple as taking a walk at a certain time of day, baking bread, or cleaning your kitchen. You might not feel moved or changed by a ritual the first time you attempt one. You might be self-conscious or distracted. This is where intentionality will help. If you consciously choose to perform the action with awareness and purpose, it can help cultivate a sense of calm, gratitude, and help focus your life. It may help to add a symbolic gesture to begin, lighting a candle, a brief meditation, even just taking a few deep breaths. Something there to trigger a sense of mindfulness in yourself. Then you should slow down and be fully present in the moment. Pay attention to each step, each sensation, and each breath. To solidify the ritual, practice it consistently. Repetition helps to reinforce the sense of meaning and significance associated with it. Also, take a moment afterward to feel grateful for the opportunity and to reflect on how you feel. Remember, changing a routine to a ritual is about infusing intention and mindfulness into your everyday actions. By adding purpose, presence, and a sense of meaning, you can turn even the most mundane routines into intentional rituals. Other rituals occur during significant life events like weddings or graduations. Take the time to be mindful of these, whether they are yours or someone else's. This will help those around you to enjoy the transformative time. The pomp and circumstance of these events can often make one nervous. By being intentional and mindful, you can invoke calm and joy instead. Our rituals might also be religious in nature, like the one we are a part of right now. I think it is safe to say all religions have that in common. They all use rituals in practice. Our pagan friends hold many rituals throughout the year. On the solstices, Yule and Letha, and the equinoxes, Mabon and Ostera. Also, Imbolc on February 1st to mark the beginning of spring and the end of winter. Samhain on October 31st, a time to remember ancestors and celebrate the harvest. Lammas on August 1st, marking the first harvest and the passing of summer. And Beltane, or May Day. We humans do love our rituals, don't we? Missing this ritual of gathering on a Sunday morning is what brought me to a UU fellowship on Easter Sunday in Charlotte in the 90s, after I'd quit attending church for some 20 years before in my teens. It wasn't that to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. It was the need to listen to words, to sing songs, and to sit together in community with, I'm going to guess, people dressed in pastel colors. It was familiar enough. It was comfortable. And then again, after another pause, during which I attended what I called the Church of Sunday Morning NPR in the 90s and early 2000s. You may remember Car Talk, A Prairie Home Companion, and still on the air, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Although a pleasant ritual in itself, it wasn't a community. Missing the ritual of church is one of the things that brought me through that door out front. That, and realizing that this congregation stands up for what is right. Seeing your familiar faces at the rallies and the demonstrations in the area. I soon realized that although I had left behind almost everything from the United Presbyterian Church I was raised in, the ritual of Sunday morning worship service was familiar, comfortable, and enjoyable. I no longer had the need to believe in a God, but I did and do enjoy this ritual we are taking part in right now. This non-creedal, justice-seeking Unitarian Universalist congregation was the community I needed. And the somewhat Protestant ritual that our worship services filled what I didn't even know was missing in my life. That love of our form of worship was cemented while gathering around the Eddington Hoover dining room table, eating Rosa's scones with the other 8 or 9 worship associates after I joined them. My love for this particular ritual, the UUC worship service, has transformed my life. I'm enjoying learning more about it as I continue this journey through the process of becoming a commissioned lay minister. In 1978, when I was an art major at Glenville State College in Glenville, West Virginia, I learned that the framework, the strictures of a project can paradoxically open creativity. One would think the opposite would be true, but no. By first defining the medium and the rules, then creativity can be explored. A sonnet is a 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter, employing one of several rhyming schemes and adhering to a tightly structured thematic organization. By following those rules, Shakespeare wrote some of the greatest poems we have known. The basic elements of a sonata are 3: exposition, development, and recapitulation, in which the musical subject matter is stated, explored, expanded, and restated. It is through these strictures that classical composers created inspiring music. Paintings are two-dimensional and have their own rules of beauty. Sculptures are restricted by gravity and the medium from which they are made, as is architecture. So too does a worship service have rules and strictures. It should be about an hour long here at UUC. Ending more than 15 minutes early feels like a failure to me. We have music to welcome you, also known as a prelude, a welcome words, a chalice lighting, a couple of songs to sing together, often called hymns, an offering, usually accompanied by a musical performance, a meditative experience, sometimes a story or a reading, the core message or sermon, and closing words known as the benediction. And finally, more music to end our time together, sometimes called a postlude. I like our tradition of unison recitation of words because not everyone can sing. I tend to mouth the words to songs we sing together. Speaking words with others is a powerful ritual in itself. This structure is not constraining, it is freeing. I learned this while munching on scones and drinking coffee at Rosen Mills. The subject of the message can be almost anything. It can be informative, as it often was in the 90s and early aughts. It can be inspiring. It can be so moving it brings us to tears, as Sarah showed us a few weeks ago. It can even be about baseball, if that's what you're into. We who write these core messages or sermons hope they will leave you with at least something to think about, and at best that you will feel change for the better when you leave. The music should, as is so ably achieved by Jamie and our UUC music makers week after week, enhance and work with the theme of the service. The readings and quotes should add to that feeling. All of these components will hopefully build on and mesh together to form this thing we call worship. Remember, the word worship comes from the Old English word, worthscape, which means to see what is of worth. That is what I try to do when I create a worship service. When I stand up here before you, I hope to help you see what is of worth. And now I am learning to tear down some of those strictures. What is merely comfortable and traditional? What do our services look to a new person walking in for the first time? A lot of people, it turns out, were not raised by a Presbyterian minister in Michigan. They did not attend church every single Sunday of their lives for years. Many have seldom been to a church service at all. What does this look like to them? What do they want when they walk through those doors? How do we change what is a comfortable routine into a transformational ritual? Going back to what we learned about changing mundane tasks into rituals, intentionality is one of the keys. That new person is everything. Having that sense of mindfulness about what we do and say. Consistency is comfortable, but must be balanced with purpose, presence, and a sense of meaning. As we sang for months during our farewell music, we are a justice-seeking people. We are young and old together. We are a land of many colors. We are gay and straight together. We are gentle, loving people. We are a gentle, angry people. and we are singing for our lives. That is something that will bring people back. Fortunately for us, we have a resource available to us. At the wise request of Deborah and Marion, that resource, our contract minister, Don, has agreed to teach us more about it beginning this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. in his series of online discussions about how congregational life has evolved and why. It's called Congregations 101, Ideas That Work. I will attend, and I encourage you to also. The link is in the weekly update and on the calendar in our website. A friend from the Huntington UU Fellowship said to me at last fall's witchy weekend, everybody loves a ritual. Let us practice bringing more intentional rituals into our lives. And let us let this ritual be more intentional. And in the spirit of mindful gratitude, let me say thank you. Now let's sing again. I invite you to rise in voice, body, or spirit for our song for all, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit.
Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, where are you?
In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean, deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off the ripples to the sky. What to give you, what to call you, who am I? I am empty, my eyes remind me what is time. Dreams eternal, fears infernal haunt my heart. What to give you, what to call you, oh my God. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, take our hearts. Take our breath and let our voices sing our parts. Take our hands and let us work to shape our art.
We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other, our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be true, be loving.
We shall overcome. It's page 169, the first and the second verses. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We'll heart. I do believe that we'll walk hand in hand someday.